Australian Open, Eala feels at home. Manila, Philippines, a perceived home court advantage. This will fuel Eala as she prepares for her debut in the main draw of the Australian Open, which fires off today and boasts the heftiest prize pool in history at Melbourne Park. Nearly 4,000 miles away from home, the 20-year-old Filipina expects to draw inspiration and strength from her compatriots in what she considers as home court edge down under. It should serve her well in her much-awaited campaign against the sport titans, beginning tomorrow at around 9:40 a.m. Manila time against power-serving Alicia Parks of the United States. Parks, 25 years old and 6 feet tall, holds the record in the U.S. Open with a 129 miles per hour serve that was recorded in 2021. She is currently ranked number 100 in the world, and Eala at number 49. She's a dangerous foe, and Eala is counting on her fans. It's been amazing. In this part of the world, there are a lot of Filipinos, but the turnout this year has grown significantly, I would say, from the past years, so I'm so happy to see this environment, she said over the weekend. People are excited. When I'm on court, they're excited to see me. It's flattering and it makes me feel welcome for sure, she added. This year's Australian Open offers the biggest prize pool ever of $74.9 million. The winners, both in men's and women's, will bring home $2.79 million, runners-up $1.45 million, and semifinalists $840,000 each. First-round losers will receive $100,000, roughly $5.9 million. Eala, with her steady climb in the world rankings, has become a rock star in Oceania since her stint at the ASB Classic in Auckland, New Zealand and the Kooyong Classic in Melbourne last week. Eala made the Final Four of the Auckland tourney, her third WTA semis appearance, and was awarded the Yvonne Goolagong Collie Trophy in Kooyong as the 2026 exhibition champion following a 6-3, 6-4 mastery of Paris Olympics silver medalist and 2024 Wimbledon semifinalist Dana Vekic of Croatia. And that should be enough driving force she would need when she slugs it out against the fastest woman server, in Parks. It's definitely great for confidence, added Eala, former world junior number 2 and winner of the Australian Open girls doubles with Indonesian pal Priska Madeline Nugroho. Getting matches always helps before slams, so I'm confident with how I'm playing. It doesn't mean that matches aren't going to be tough here, so I'm ready for playing here. It feels great. I'm super excited, Eala added. Australian Open, Eala feels at home. The sun had barely kissed the Melbourne skyline when Eala stepped onto the hard court at Melbourne Park. The early morning air carried a faint crispness, tinged with the scent of freshly watered courts and the distant aroma of coffee wafting from nearby cafes. For many players, the Australian Open was a grueling start to the season, a monumental test of stamina, skill, and resilience. But for Eala, it felt like home. It wasn't just the familiar green and blue hard courts or the grandstands slowly filling with eager spectators. It was a sense of belonging, a feeling that had been years in the making. From the time she first picked up a racket as a young girl in Manila, Eala had dreamed of this moment. The anticipation of the crowd, the hum of the arena, the rhythmic bounce of the tennis ball that echoed her heartbeat. Now, standing in the cool morning light, she felt a comforting warmth, as if Melbourne itself were welcoming her. The Australian Open had always held a unique magic. Unlike Wimbledon's solemn grace or the frenetic energy of the US Open, Melbourne exuded a vibrant, eclectic charm. The city moved to the rhythm of tennis in January. Trams carried fans adorned in colorful hats and team jerseys, while cafes spilled laughter and conversation onto sunlit sidewalks. It was chaotic, joyful, and alive, and Eala thrived in it. Her journey to this point had been far from linear. As the youngest Filipino player to earn recognition on the international junior circuit, she had faced her share of skepticism. Many doubted whether someone from a country with limited tennis infrastructure could compete with the sport's elite. Yet here she was, not merely competing, but doing so with the poise and confidence of someone who belonged on this stage. She had earned it, point by point, match by match. As she walked toward the practice courts, the familiar squeak of shoes on hard court and the rhythmic thwack of balls hitting rackets brought a sense of calm. Eala had a ritual before every session. A deep inhale, a slow exhale, a moment to center herself amidst the swirl of activity. Coaches shouted instructions, ball boys and girls darted in every direction, and media crews adjusted cameras with quiet urgency. Yet in this chaos, Eala found stillness, a rare superpower that allowed her to focus entirely on her game. "Ready?" her coach called, tossing a ball toward her. Eala nodded, raising her racket with a smile. The first serve sliced through the morning air, and she felt a familiar thrill. Each rally was more than just practice. It was a dialogue with the court itself. She moved with a natural rhythm, her footwork precise, her shots deliberate yet instinctive. It was a dance she had learned over years of tireless training, tournaments across continents, and early mornings spent perfecting her backhand. Beyond the technical mastery, there was something deeper. Melbourne reminded her of the joy of the game. The Australian Open had a reputation for producing epic battles and historic triumphs, but it also celebrated the sport's vibrancy. Kids clutched miniature rackets in the stands, cheering loudly for their idols. Street performers played music outside the gates, and local vendors served iconic treats like lamingtons and meat pies. Amid the intensity of competition, there was a playfulness that Eala loved, a reminder that tennis was not only about rankings or trophies but about passion, expression, and connection. It was during one of these practice sessions that Eala noticed something unexpected: the subtle interactions with other players. The camaraderie, the smiles shared after a particularly tough rally, the encouragement whispered from behind the nets, all these small moments humanized the competition. Here, she was not just a player, she was part of a global community. And for someone often seen as an outsider in the international tennis scene, this feeling was profound. Her debut match at the Australian Open was approaching, and anticipation hung thick in the arena air. Eala had learned to treat nerves as fuel rather than fear. She pictured herself playing under the floodlights, the crowd's energy surging like electricity through the stadium. Each point became a story, each serve a declaration. When the day finally arrived, Eala walked onto Rod Laver Arena with steady steps. The roar of the audience was thunderous yet oddly comforting. There were flashes of cameras, the scent of sunscreen and summer heat, and an ocean of faces united by a shared love for the sport. She took her position, raised her racket, and looked around. For a fleeting moment, she let herself absorb everything: the hum of the crowd, the gleam of the net, the crisp bounce of the ball. Then came the serve, the first rally, the pulse of competition. Eala moved with fluidity, each shot reflecting years of dedication. But more than skill, there was a certain ease, an unspoken understanding with the court, the ball, and the moment itself. She wasn't just playing, she was home. Between points, she remembered,